Hello and welcome to KSP. I'm your host GrunfWorks and we are continuing our career mode. And today, folks, we will be returning on Minmus. Yes, we will not be discouraged by the little probe that couldn't come back to Kerbal, and instead we will take all the Minmus contracts and we will send a manned mission, or, well, kerbal mission onto the... Yes. So, without further ado, let's start constructing our little lander, and I'm of course doing it in 2.5 times time acceleration for your convenience. I mean, you can still see what I'm building and just not being painfully slow as I usually tend to do it. Anyway, that being said, I'm putting all the experiments, including the, of course, Kerbal Engineer, which is actually much better suited off on this side. I'm increasing the sample capacity. Do I need it? I have absolutely no idea. Let me know in the comments. So, LAN Minmus Lander Mark 1. Yes. Alright. Then we're gonna be taking the reaction wheels. And then I'm thinking some Kerbalism configured, containers. This one should be, food and stuff and all the things we need. Oh boy, food and water. Maybe I'll need the waste container as well. Pressurized tank and then select contents. I may need it later. I'm gonna think about it. I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna use it. I have to double check. I mean, I know that for sure I will be needing the electric charge and I'll be needing the solar panel, so I'm putting those two right off the bat. And then we will, of course, we will need... I'm actually thinking, should I be putting a service bay, or... I could actually use a hull cam and I could use the illuminators so that we have a little bit more lights. What do you think, guys? Let's put two. Right. Yeah, let's put two so that we have a better view of the landing site where we will be landing. Yes, that's the plan anyway. So, with that thing being said, I kind of hope that we will be able to construct this with this tank. Should be enough, Delta V. It says 475, but that's on sea level, and we're not gonna be using this engine on sea level. I think when you put it on vacuum, it should be around 2,500–3,000 Delta V, so I think that's kind of viable to be able to go to Minmus, land and return. And I do really want to have the hull cam because I've been showing you guys, ascent and all that jazz, but I really want to show off some more, cool booster cams and whatnot. And please bear with me because honestly I have no idea how to use it. Alright? I'm learning and you're watching me as I learn, which means sometimes it will look just plain terrible. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to locate if I do have the EVA suit. It doesn't appear to be the case. I'm actually gonna be putting one of these antennas. I know for a fact that it's too short of a range to be reaching Minmus because Minmus is around, I think it's around 40 million meters, while this one has 20 million meters. But halfway on the road back we will be able to report some science, and maybe we even have a science contract for, I think, sending space data from high Kerbal orbit. Yes, I'm gonna be placing these pressurized tanks because our O2 situation was basically we had for a couple of hours, maybe up to 1 day, and we really need for more days. So yeah, I'm gonna be placing more of hydrogen because if we have 20 to 50 days, then it's okay. Yeah, also I'm gonna be placing another waste tank, waste and wet waste, I guess, general waste. I have no idea. I hope that this will be correct. Then I want to be placing a single, additional parachute because I don't know what the weight of this damn thing is. So yeah, okay, nitrogen. We have 2 years of nitrogen radiation. We should increase the shielding. Okay, the shielding is up. Thank you guys very much for letting me know that I really do need to increase the shielding. I didn't know that. And because this is the first time I'm playing with Kerbalism, so, sorry, I'm learning. It's a process. So, storage and data capacity, like I said, I have zero knowledge of how much there should be. So I'm just, playing it willy-nilly. Then we put like this. And I'm thinking once again we're gonna go for aesthetic that we had on the Falcon Heavy, because we're using Mothra, of course. So since we're using Mothra, might as well, you know, play the tune. So there we go. Then we will take this circular tops. Then I'm going to start placing the parachutes, because I want to know if I will be able to recover these guys. I mean, I know, yeah, it's and thank you for your comments. Yes, I recall the mod for recovering is called Stage Recovery. Thank you so much for that comment, and I'm hoping that at least I will be able to recover some of it. I know that for a fact if you place enough of the parachutes, you should be able to recover at least some parts of it. So if I get some, you know, cash for it, I'll be happy. Okay, I've attached the main chutes, and I've set them that it's okay if we're not going downwards, because I cannot, you know, just arm the chutes and wait for whatnot. I'm actually scared that it won't work. Right, now let's fix the staging, shall we? So it is a little bit of Falcon Heavy aesthetic, but initially it wouldn't have enough thrust weight to lift off. It would just have 1.02, which means it would hover endlessly until all the, you know, fuel is spent. And that's why I attached 2 additional side boosters, and then hopefully it will be fine. So let's now warp to complete in terms of designing the lander, rolling it out, and, you know, doing the actual shtick. So, warp to complete. Alright, let's do the launch, and I think I need to select the kerbal. Now, Dorothy, you've been here. I mean, I'm gonna go with Alex, I think. Alex Kerman, he's our pilot, 1-star pilot. We should teach him up a bit. And off we go. Look at the rocket soaring up at the 2.5 time acceleration, because you've seen many launches and this one is no different, except for the Alex freaking out on the initial launch because he said, "You strapped me to 2 giant matchsticks. What the hell were you thinking, GrunfWorks?" And they're not even center-lined. Yeah, what can I tell you? I suck at the design. However, we've managed to successfully detach the initial boosters, and we are now being powered by not 1 but 3 Marlin engines, and we're already high up, so our thrust weight is looking good. I mean 1.7, 1.8, and our delta V is climbing because of the efficiency of the third stage. Yes, this is the second stage once the solid rocket boosters have detached. Yes, and as you can tell, I'm providing a little bit of a booster cam. I'm learning how to use it, and yes, I know I suck at it. Please bear with me. What can I tell you? Anyway, look at it, how nicely we are accelerating. Our apoapsis is climbing past the 90 kilometers, and as soon as it reaches 100, I'm shutting off the engine. Yes. Then we're going to do our standard maneuver node for the circularization, which should take approximately 750-ish meters per second, and should be completed entirely on this stage. Yes, I know it's not realistic, and which means these 2 solid rocket or liquid rocket boosters will not be actually recovered. They'll end up in orbit, and I'll just have to activate, you know, the range safety features once they will be passing above the Kerbal Space Center, and I'll have to pop them like firecrackers, you know? Snap, crackle, and pop. Anyway, we can start the burn in 1 minute and 21 seconds, and hopefully we should be able to circularize nicely. Alex looks a bit more confident because now nothing is, you know... And also we have provided enough radiation shielding so that he doesn't get irradiated and get as green as Dan's did. Sorry about Dan, I still feel guilty about it. I hope you'll live to tell the tale and be nice and green about it. Yeah. Alright, Alex, are we ready for the burn? We are 52 seconds, let's get ready the timers, check everything, check your staging. You know we have to, and we time accelerate ever so slightly, and then we go with 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Main engine ignition. We have a successful ignition. I do play with the part failure, but I haven't actually experienced any of the part failures so far, which is kind of encouraging, I would say. Who knows, maybe I've been playing with the components that doesn't support this feature. Okay, we've circularized 106 by 100. You know, I don't need it perfect, it looks good enough to me. Now, the next thing that we need to do is, of course, the inclination change. Yes, Minmus orbit is roughly compared to the Kerbal equatorial orbit. It's tilted around 5-ish degrees, which means we have to set it as target. Then we go to ascending or descending node. In this case, it will be the descending node with the minus 5.7 degree change in inclination. So let's now try and see if we insert the normal burn. No, I think it's actually, yeah, okay, 0.0, good. So the total burn will be 224 meters per second, and it will be done a little bit on the second stage, and more importantly then on the third, and the third one being the still main rocket tank with from the Mothra, and then hopefully the transfer burn for the Minmus shall be done in the third and fourth stage, I guess. All right. Switching to orbital view, so we have a nicer view. It looks kind of upright, which it should be. And then we have the burn in 2 minutes and 24 seconds. We look prepared. I'm just trying to find a nice angle to see if I can go. Yes, we have a contract for the transmitting the science from Kerbal. So I'm actually force running the thermometer experiment despite the fact that we already have it. And I'm pointing the dish towards the Kerbal and activating it to make sure that we do have a connection back to the KSC. Yes. All right. Good. Now, hopefully this experiment will run and it will net us some science. The idea is that it nets us some science and then we can report it back to the KSC and complete the contract. So that's kind of the idea. Anyway, burn shall be in 50-ish seconds. Just using a touch of time acceleration, and I don't know, to me it looks kind of choppy, but I hope it won't be. Let's switch to this cam and see if you guys will be able to see the very nice booster separation and everything. I'm experimenting and I'm gonna put on the lights for your viewing pleasure. 3, 2, 1, and hit it, George. There we go, and stage set. Look at the booster drifting away in the distance. Oh, almost forgot about the burn. Okay, yeah, I should probably switch. Okay, so how do I switch from the camera? Okay, I'm lost. Okay, good. There we are. I just need to burn additional 9.2 meters per second, so my rocket is doing a nosedive back to Kerbal. There we go. 2.6. I think that's close enough. Look, descending node 0.0. Good. Time to plan the ejection burn to Minmus. Add the maneuver node. Once again, guys, I am actually showing you everything you need to know how to get to Minmus so that you can see the all inclination changes and everything. In the future episodes, if I'll be doing more Moon or Minmus missions, I'm probably gonna skip setting up these maneuver nodes and just go directly to where I'm getting close to the Moon in order to keep these episodes short, snappy, and, you know, things rolling. Do let me know if that's okay with you in the comments. As always, your comments are very important to me. So, yeah, and also sorry for the fact that today, schedule-wise, it should have been the Stationeers, but I haven't yet gotten to recording the episode. I'm doing this on a laptop where the outside temperature is around 36-ish degrees, so please don't judge me, my brain is mush. Anyway, contracts, we are just waiting to see. We're still having forced run. Look at that, 912% science from the temperature scan. I'm really pushing the science, aren't I? All right, let's do the warp here till we get here. By the way, for those of you asking, I'm playing on Kerbal KSP version 1.11 because I'm worried what happens if I switch to 1.12. I don't want to update all the mods, and yeah, I usually lock the... And I know, I mean, I have my own transfer window planner and whatnot, so I guess it will work. And I'm playing with Kerbal Alarm Clock anyway, which I guess are the main components. There we go. Look at how the lights are now, you know, giving a slight glint into... It looks nicer, and as you can see, I've turned the ambient light a bit on, just to make sure that you can see very nicely the craft. It is darker, but it's not too dark, I hope. Let me know in the comments if you think it's too dark. Okay, I'm switching. Look at this view. Let's try again the stage separation, and go! Bye-bye, booster. Now we are using our, I think, 4th stage. Look at it go nicely. Oh, it's beautiful. It is a little bit still dark, but at least you can see the glow of it and everything, so I don't know. It looks good enough to me. Let me know if it looks good enough to you. Right. Okay, and with that thing, we've got our ejection burn to Minmus hopefully done in 50 meters per second, more or less. There we go. Tiny correction. Beautiful. Okay, I think that's good enough. 0.1, you can always correct it later on. Right, so I think that now we can see, okay, the Minmus periapsis is 1 million meters. That's okay. Let's just slowly put a maneuver node somewhere, and let's just get into a very nice view. No storage space. I'm just waiting now that this science gets transmitted and that we get the contract. But while we're waiting, we can... Yeah, okay. We can enjoy deploying the solar panels. I almost forgot it. Well, that wouldn't be too nice now, would it? We would run out of electric charge eventually. Okay, and we're crossing the radiation belt. We are exposed to extreme radiation, but we have radiation shielding, so that shouldn't affect us in the slightest. Hopefully. Alright, look at the Kerbin, very nice and big blue ball that we all know and love, except we love it as Earth, but, well, here it's Kerbin. Slightly tinier, but still beautiful. Ah, the moments like this. Okay, no science gain, we already had this data, so it did transmit, which means look at that contract button beeping up, meaning that the contract is complete. Science data from space around Kerbin. Thank you. Alright, and I'm actually gonna just queue up the experiments. I know that for a fact that we have recorded all the experiments at the moment. However, what I'm thinking is if I queue them up, the moment that we switch into the Minmus sphere of influence, we should effectively start taking the measurements and storing the data. So, the next step is onwards and upwards to Minmus, I guess. I do want to make an alarm for an SOI change. There we go. And then let's just enjoy the transition, shall we? Simply amazing. Once again crossing the radiation belt. Oh, look at the moon also being there in the background. Beautiful. There we go. I actually like the design of this lander. I was originally thinking of going with the, US style, but it said that it wasn't pressurized. So you would need to be basically in the, you know, in the radiation suit, and not the radiation but the EVA suit, but we don't have the EVA suits yet, so, or we don't have the jetpacks yet, so that made me a little bit concerned, you know. There we go. Let's slowly switch the view back to Minmus. There we go. We have entered the Minmus sphere of influence, and I'm just slightly planning the maneuver node to be able to circularize and adding the alarm. The reason for me adding alarms, if you guys are wondering why I'm constantly doing that, is because I plan to, you know, give you these beautiful transitions where you see Minmus coming up large and also Kerbin becoming small, and as we're transitioning without the UI. However, without the UI, I have no idea when I'm coming close to maneuver node, and if I queue up the alarm, the Kerbal alarm clock will stop me and say, hold on, GrunfWorks, you need to make a burn in 2 minutes. And that's the reason why I can just sit back, relax, focus on the narrative, hopefully, and also having you guys enjoy the view while we are I mean, I prefer the cinematic view rather than the UI and all that jazz. Don't you? Look at this. And now I just gently tap the time acceleration as the nice minty lump that is Minmus is slowly emerging from the darkness, obscuring the sun within moments, and then showing itself in all its green and minty glory. Yes, there we go. Alright, I don't know which kind of, I think we're coming into somewhat elliptical orbit or something, I don't know, not elliptical orbit, but, you know, elliptical flyby, but we're gonna be landing anyway, so I don't really care that much in terms of how I come. And look at this, we have a total of 1146 meters per second delta V. I think that should be more than enough to land us and get us back to Kerbin, with fuel to spare, of course. Now the burn is gonna be in 30 seconds, so, and the burn time is gonna be only 9 seconds, because Minmus is so easy, guys. If you're just starting a KSP, which I doubt the most of you are, however, if you're starting, Minmus is actually much easier to land and requires less delta V than Moon. However, the trick with Minmus is you have to understand that you do have to make an inclination change, as I've already shown within this episode. So yeah, Minmus has much lower gravity, which makes it a lot easier to land. There we go. I think that the burn is complete, and we should have the apoapsis and the periapsis between 20 and 30 kilometers. And as you can see, we are not really equatorial around Minmus, but we don't really care. I plan to land in one of these minty lakes. So yeah, I'm just burning ever so slightly to reduce the periapsis, because the more I do now, the less I have to do later. There we go. Periapsis is around 10, and as soon as I'll be crossing that lake that you can see on the top right hand side of Minmus, I think I'm gonna be landing somewhere about there. Yeah, I'm thinking even of making a maneuver node, just to, you know, tweak the orbit and get an idea to create an impactor, if you will. Except we will not be impacting, of course. Anyway, however, look at this. I just want to have a rough ballpark of how much delta V is gonna eat up. So 45-ish meter per second. As I'm telling you, see, I have 986. Should be enough. If I'm not too crazy or doing something really, really stupid, I should be able to land and return back to Kerbin without problems. Or actually, not me, but Alex, our brave Kerbonaut who is doing the world firsts. One of them being the first Kerbal to ever visit Minmus, and the first Kerbal to ever orbit Minmus. See, as our contracts are telling us. Beautiful. Alright, now the burn will be in 14 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm actually thinking that we should just enjoy the view. Once again, adding the maneuver node burn. And then we shall be proceeding time acceleration, and have enjoying a very nice view of Minmus. Beautiful, isn't it? I really enjoy these views, and I really dig the updated textures. They really look nice. Okay, by the way, we have forgotten something. We could do the EVA report and get some, or not a little, 40 science. Whoa! Whip me up and call me Susan. Okay, 40 science, it's a lot, and actually it will help us a lot with the mission that will be coming afterwards, I hope, which I'm thinking to do a little bit more, you know, interplanetary relays. Of course, we will do a lot around Moon and Minmus. However, I prefer to have a more robust relay network, because as you can tell, we have literally zero connection back to Kerbin. And if I put, you know, interplanetary relays, then I know if I put a big enough dish on the craft, I will have connectivity. It's not so important for the, you know, flights that involve kerbals, but for the remote probes, yeah, since I'm playing with remote tech, I wouldn't be able to do jack. So, yeah. We are above Minmus lowlands, and now let's just slightly accelerate until we get to the maneuver node, and then we will be performing the deorbit burn. Alright, we're coming up. And if I'm not mistaken, the time acceleration has slowed it down because we have to start the burn within 1 minute. Okay, good. Let's point ourselves. Oh, did I choose the wrong camera? Guess so. Okay, let's first point in the right direction and then change the camera. Auto. I prefer free because for the landing I prefer to have this view. Alright. There we go. I always like to align that, you know, the blue part of the nav ball is on the bottom part, because then pushing, I think, W or upwards will help me, you know, make the craft upright. I don't know, it's just a matter of how you're used to actually using, and then left is left, right is right, and whatnot, so. Right, so, with that thing being said, let's accelerate, shall we? Oh no, wait, we have started a burn in 5 seconds. Oh, I completely missed that. Yes, I'm doing the post-commentary. Please don't judge me. Yes. Alright, burn. The main reason for doing pretty much everything post-commentary these days is because when I'm recording the, you know, video, my laptop fans are on maximum. They're just going, you know, whee, and then if I have my microphone close to it, you would hear that noise, and I've already done it a couple of years ago, and it's not really fun. So I'm thinking it's better that you have a nice clear-cut commentary while, you know, we're descending ever so closer to Minmus. Look at this. Alright, time accelerate until we get closer. This is the lake where I'm intending to land. I should probably extend the landing legs sometime right about now-ish. Just point downwards, yes, retrograde, so that we can slow down, extend the landing legs, thank you very much. I hope that they will be able to send. I'm actually thinking I'll burn a little bit upwards because I want to fly over and not ram into the lake. So yes, that's kind of the idea. We are descending. There you go, time to periapsis is slowing down. I should actually add with the Kerbal Engineer time to impact, because I think it would be very handy. It would help a lot with the landing. I'm used to having that, you know, parameter, and now I'm just eyeballing things. However, I've done this enough times to know, you know, how it goes, so. Yeah, surface velocity is 129 meters per second. We have plenty of thrust to weight, so we don't really have to worry about burning early. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm canceling my horizontal velocity so that I'm, you know, landing vertically like a rocket, rather than sliding sideways as whatnot. Alright, you have to align the surface retrograde exactly on the top of the nav ball, and then you just have to monitor where your shadow is in order to get a rough idea. Also, one thing that helps is that you eyeball your altitude. However, if you take a look, I'm watching at above sea level rather than above terrain. So that's also one thing that you have to really take into account, because those two could be misleading. So I've now switched it to above terrain, and look, it's not the same altitude. So be careful when you're trying to land so you don't really end up as a very high priced impactor. Okay, I'm now, as you can see, I'm decelerating. I'm killing off now my vertical velocity. Hopefully, I'm just making sure, look, I have still 300 meters, so I don't really need to kill it off that quickly. Slowly but surely. And I'm trying to actually find the balance so that my descent rate is constant and around between 10 and 2. In the beginning 7, and the closer to the land or the closer to the surface I get, there I'm reducing it ever so slightly. 5 is good enough, 2 is better, and 0 point something is too low, so yeah. 1.8, that's almost ideal. If I could keep it all the way down, and I'm trying to keep the surface retrograde exactly on top of the nav ball so we don't have horizontal movement. There we go, and perfect landing. Shut off the engines, turn off the SAS, and ladies and gentlemen, we've landed on Minmus. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how it went. Guys, I think I'm gonna actually cut the episode right here. The next episode will be, of course, the return of Alex and some experiments. I hope you liked the episode. As always, I will see you in the next one, and thank you very much for watching.